Okay, so something I notice about our vocabulary time here is that we have determined the meaning of content-specific words kind of towards the bottom, whereas I see a lot of these other standards we've already hit actually within other units. So I feel like it needs to be something that is moved towards the top because it's a little bit more,
and it'll flow into our nonfiction.
Flow into the nonfiction, as well as a lot of these standards. It'll just make more sense to maybe cover those during homework or morning work too.
So let's kind of look at what we have. We have context clues within text features, so that's going to be important to hit, and plus it's an A and B assessed standard, so that's a good one to do first. Determine
which leads right into
determine the meaning of content specific words, so yeah, which leads exactly into that, using context clues and text features. So even though that's not assessed towards for C, we're going to kind of hit
both at the same time.
We've already done literal versus non-literal. We've already done synonyms, antonyms, homophones, and homonyms, and that's not even assessed again until 3C, so we have a while for that.
As well as
We've hit idioms. Reference materials, I think, needs to be up here because we can talk about how if you don't know the meaning of something, let's use
and you
dictionary.
Know what? I actually, even with the standard 2, knowing the different affixes can help you understand other words that you don't know within nonfiction. And then, so knowing all of this for your context clues, and if all else fails, then using your reference materials.
Okay, that makes sense. And so then we'll get, and we're still making sure A, B, C.
A, B, C, except for this one, which goes hand in hand with this one.
And then we'll go into B, 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 C. Yep. And then, so then at the very end, we can talk about this again if we need to right before C. Okay, so I want to kind of put this to the side because I feel like this is going to be like something so separate. Our literary text, we've kind of all talked about it. We're going to have our read aloud time where we can introduce what is a poem, what is a drama, how can we figure out.
Most of our time is nonfiction.
Yeah, so if we think about.
Pause.
Yeah, let's cover that. So if we think about nonfiction, the first thing that I think would make sense to me as a planner is to look at this and kind of figure out what are the big main topics that we're going to hit with nonfiction. And then we can take those main topics and kind of figure out some teaching points to get them scaffolded to the end result. And so one of the things, if I look at these, I'm looking at structures, and structures comes up again. Essentially, one of the big things that we want the kids to know is the structure of, or the structure or organization of nonfiction.
And then something else as well, I'm noticing the fact that the evidence comes up a lot. So, and the types of evidence. So whether we're asking questions and referring explicitly to the text, or using those text features and the structures to support your claims. I think
evidence would be another big umbrella.
Yeah.
Okay. Using fact and opinion too. That's going to be a good one with evidence. So why don't we look at, I'm going to write down just some bullet points, what goes under structure and organization. So one thing that would go under structure and organization is text features. Something else that would go under structure and organization would be structures of nonfiction. And so that's going to be where we're talking about how nonfiction can be grouped into problem solution.
Right, and that one
cause
ties
and
into
effect.
this too.
Right.
Sequencing.
So this could also be describing the relationship between these structures. Okay, so if we describe the relationship with that, I think that's it for that. So let's go ahead and do our evidence one.
Okay.
What do you see that hits in evidence?
Using strong evidence. So when it says explicitly, it's also referring to the fact that it needs to be appropriate.
Okay.
So appropriate, strong supports.
Can this one go with that too? This compare and contrast the same topic with different texts, because hey, I just read this text all about violins and that's a random topic, but
About violins
all about
as well.
violins and this one too.
So using multiple texts to support your claim.
Right. So if you don't find the answer in this text, you can use it in this one as well,
And
or use evidence from both.
And that goes along with nonfiction, the fact that you're not always going to find all your answers within
In one.
a nonfiction text. So multiple texts.
And then I feel like another one that could go with that is fact and opinion, because how can we use facts? How does the author use facts
To support the
to support their
Their
opinion? And so that'd be evidence.
Okay.
Now the other one that we have is main idea with nonfiction.
Mhm.
And so I feel like main idea with nonfiction could be another good one with structure and organization.
Yeah.
Or it would go also with like text features, because we can teach the kids that main ideas can be found just from looking at the headings in nonfiction. But
And
then we
different
can go a little
features.
deeper and say, hey, after looking at the headings, if that doesn't really give you a clue about what the main idea is,
Then this
read
is-
the paragraph and then ask yourself, what's the main idea? And so main idea can be with text features and by rating. Did we hit everything? So we want to make sure like we're kind of grouping it so
Mhm.
we can
So
look
we
at
have
these
our
for
structures plus the way it's set up.
Mhm.
So these three kind of go together, which you hit on
and our
here.
evidence.
Evidence
Okay, yeah.
for all those.
So now we can take these and kind of think of appropriate teaching points to get them to understanding
to these.
nonfiction.